curated to switch the narrative, to show that it's never too late to shift your mindset, heal your heart, and live the life that you truly desire. Sis, you are magic. You just haven't discovered it yet. But in order to get to the goal, you have to do a little bit of digging, getting through all the hard stuff to allow your true self to shine. Because yes, you are beautiful. But how is your soul really feeling? Are you fine on the inside? Hey y'all, welcome to Fine on the Inside. This is your girl Jazz, and I am here with Erica Rivera. Hey girl. Thank you so much for coming on to the podcast and having me in your dope studio.
Thank you.
I'm so hyped to be here. Erica is a tattoo artist, an actor, model, painter, all of the above. So yeah, I just wanted to tap in with you. You know, when I first see you, I'm like, she's fire. But then I started following you on social media, and I'm like, oh, okay, like she's fire, but she's also like in her journey, and know, doing the whole self-healing, self-development. So I'm like, I had to get in touch with you and just vibe out. So thank you for coming on.
I appreciate you asking me and thinking of me.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, no problem. So usually how I start off with just like a couple of icebreakers.
Nice.
And then we'll just go right into it, okay?
Cool.
So the first icebreaker is, what hobby or interest do you have that some people might be surprised about?
Well, I don't know if this is that much of a surprise because I have posted some of the engagement that I've done before, but I'm really, really interested in community service.
Okay.
Like, I just see myself having a future in like volunteer work, working one-on-one with people to just help either them on their mental health journey or to just engage more with whatever community I'm a part of. So I thrive when I get to like help other people, even in the tiniest little ways. So I'm really into volunteer work and community service. That's something that's super important to me. And then I would also say like more of a guilty little pleasure that probably a lot of people wouldn't know about is that I am literally addicted to tarot card readings on YouTube.
Okay.
All day. I could literally listen to them.
Yes.
I watch some that are specific to my zodiac sign, and then I have others that are just kind of more of a general collective reading, but I just really like the reader.
Right.
Obsessed.
So you have like certain readers that like you use certain
Shout out Saving Grace 999 Tarot. She's my girl. She's like gives you the disclaimer like, I do curse, I'm gonna be smoking.
Right.
Like,
I love that. It's like authentic.
Absolutely. And I always resonate, and that may be a little bit of the Delulu sneaking out, but I always feel like there's some sort of affirmation in the readings, and I'm like, I knew it.
That's me. Oh my god, I be on TikTok. I be having there's a couple people that I follow. I'm like, yo, they're really talking to me. Like,
no, it's me. It's mine. This message is me, and I'm claiming it.
Dang, I'm like, okay.
So yeah, that's my little guilty secret pleasure.
Okay. So you're a tattoo artist.
Yes.
If you could do a tattoo on any person in the world, who would it be and why? And what tattoo would you give them?
So this is probably not going to be as cool of an answer as I wish I could give, but I would totally want to tattoo both my grandma and grandpa. I would want to do like a couple's tattoo or matching tattoo on them, just me and them. Just one-on-one in the studio together because they're old school Cuban. Okay. Neither of them ever had a tattoo, but as I got older and they got older, they kind of, I'm their baby, so I'm able to open and warm them up to almost anything. And I just feel like if I could have that moment, a chance to have that type of moment again, I would absolutely just shut the whole world down and spend an hour doing like my name or something very simple or matching for them, where I could just talk to them and observe them in their dynamic together while performing this skill that I have too. So I don't know, that would be probably
I love that.
Yeah, that'd be my people.
That's so dope. Like I for some reason I just thought like it would be like somebody famous, but it's
like, I felt like I should answer somebody famous.
No, that's like so much more meaningful. But it's like wow,
yeah, because that's honestly my favorite thing about tattooing is the intimacy and the exchange, like the experience when I sit down and have that conversation. That's how we formed a connection. Was we had like a deep conversation, and it was like, hey,
Right.
this is something special. So
Yeah.
I think like I would just appreciate the intimacy of that moment,
Yeah.
you know, a lot more than, oh, that person's famous.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Wow. I
Mhm.
love that. Okay. So what is one thing you feel like people, well, one thing you think the world needs more of?
Love.
Facts. I'm a lover girl.
Love and understanding, because that's another thing too, is like there are a lot of people who are not met with the love that they
Right.
are seeking,
Yeah.
or can't communicate their love effectively.
Right.
There's a lot of love already, but
Mhm.
there's a lot of roadblocks to giving and receiving that love
Yeah.
also. So I think we need love, we need more
Mhm.
understanding, we need more free hugs,
Facts.
you know,
Yeah.
just like compassion for one
Yeah.
another. I think like recently I was able to truly humble myself in my experience by like I just began to see everybody as like my brother and sister,
Yeah.
my equal, you
Right,
know,
yeah.
and how would I want to be treated if I were in that
Right,
same
yeah.
position, because I could be in that same position
Yeah.
anytime. So that's definitely made my human experience a lot more expansive. Yeah.
I love that perspective, you know what I mean? Like, just looking at people like brother and sister, just understand that, like, we're all just human, you know what I mean? Like, we throw so many titles like boyfriend, girlfriend, mom, dad, and
Yeah.
we expect these people to hold up so many expectations, but it's like they're just human. You know,
Absolutely.
we're all learning, even not our parents, our grandparents, they're still learning things. You know, I feel like we have a lot more resources with the internet, a
100%.
lot more stuff, and you know what I mean? We're more open to change. So many people never got a chance to
Absolutely.
change, to heal, and stuff like that. So it's like, really, you gotta really just treat everybody like they're human, because we really never know what people are going through.
Absolutely. And as difficult as it may seem, it's a blessing to awaken to that
Yeah.
journey, because like you mentioned, I feel like there are a lot of people who may never wake up,
Yeah.
or as painful as it can be to
Yeah.
do the work.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's a gift.
Yeah.
So like I feel lucky,
Yeah,
even
you
though I have bad days.
Yeah.
I know that being on the journey is
Mhm.
the right place to be.
Yeah.
Period.
And it's like, it gives you more understanding, because when you do have those bad days, you can kind of just like talk to yourself like, okay, we kind of get it, you know.
We got
Sometimes
this.
we're still like, oh, what the hell
We
is
got
going
this.
on? But it's like, all right, we gonna be okay.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I
It just
know.
gives you that like reassurance that like, when shit is really bad, like, we gonna be okay.
I know, we really are.
Yeah. All right. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you mentioned, I am a tattooer, also a painter. I'm 35 years old, half Cuban, half Puerto Rican. I come
Okay.
from two young, crazy kids in love in North
Aw.
Philly. So I had an adventurous upbringing.
Mhm.
You know, I had extremely supportive parents, and I had a lot of fun growing up. So
Okay.
I was always very supported in becoming whoever I wanted
Nice,
to
okay.
end up being. So
Yeah.
I had a really great upbringing, and I started doing music and acting at a pretty young age. I
Mhm.
was on Not So Raven, Proud Family,
Mhm.
and then abruptly, like at the age of 18, I just completely decided to abandon the music industry. And I feel like I've experienced several different lives
Mhm.
since then. I've gotten to experience multiple different career fields
Mhm.
and passions, and live several different places. So yeah, like I said, now I'm 35, and I'm here full-time in Norristown,
Okay.
running the family business.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit about your personal journey with mental health and how it has shaped you to become like who you are today?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say that I dibbled and dabbled back in my younger days with maybe understanding some of my thought processes, like what I thought maybe I was depressed, or I thought
Yeah.
confused around my emotions, but I never really put enough focus on it until maybe my early 30s.
Okay.
So in the last few years. And I won't say I waited too late, because it's never too late.
Yeah.
But I will say that I didn't prioritize my mental health until it was out of necessity.
Okay,
You know,
yeah.
my journey came from hitting rock bottom, and
Yeah.
and realizing that I had no other choice but to prioritize myself and my mind and my healing if I wanted to survive. So that's when I kind of, you know, initially I've done a few different waves of this journey, but right now we're really focused. Finally have decided to prioritize my brain, my mental health, as if my life depends on it, and that's what has truly made the difference for me. And I realized how easy it was for me to show up for others, for me to pour myself into others, for me to make myself available to others and uphold commitments to others. But it was really difficult for me to seek that same help for myself. So I've just tried to shift my perspective a little bit and put me first, and it's doing me well. But it wasn't because of fun that I got here. It was because of pain, and you know, I no longer had the answers, so I had to seek out the help.
And I feel like a lot of us can relate to that. Like me personally, I feel like that's when I started to take my mental health seriously, when I reached rock bottom, because I'm like, kind of, you know, we kind of like dance around like la la la. We don't really take things seriously. We don't take our mental health seriously, and like you said, we prioritize others. You know, I feel like I was kind of just like in everybody else's world, like doing what everybody else wanted to do, but it takes for you to hit rock bottom, and then you're like, damn, like, what do I do? And now I need help, but sometimes everybody else not around. You're like, damn, you notice that I prioritize everybody, but like I need somebody now, and it's like,
when I need
it.
Don't get me started on that subject. And even stuff like that will make it obvious to you, you know what?
I need to prioritize myself.
Others aren't there for me the way that I'm there for them, and that may not always be the case because we all have our own things going on, but it is sometimes when you feel the loneliest.
Like, you gotta be able to show up for you, and like at the end of the day, I feel like it takes those times for us to really just get by ourselves. I feel like that's so important with, you know, healing and mental health, just us being by ourselves, because when we are around everybody, when we are distracted, when we're partying, when we're doing, you know, the fun stuff, it's like we can't really see it. But then it's like once you get by yourself, and it's like, wow, like, all right, now I can actually think. Now I can actually see what I need to do, what I have going on. So
clarity.
For sure. Yeah, definitely clarity. Okay, so what are some practices or habits that have been most effective for you in maintaining good mental health?
Surrounding myself with other people that are prioritizing their mental health has been one of the major key things. You know, even if it be following a Instagram page called Fine on the Inside that prioritizes being on a mental health journey, or if it's, you know, meeting up with a group of other self-conscious, aware people who are going to Devil's Pool to do a cold plunge in the middle of November, which was painful but incredible.
Oh my God, that's so dope.
So surrounding myself with other people who are just trying to do better has been very helpful. Like you said, I'm also alone a lot, so I don't really go out too much just to socialize. But I've definitely been putting myself outdoors a lot more too, being in nature, appreciating nature, seeing the little signs and synchronicities, and that's definitely helped me to like kind of tune inward for sure. And then my new thing is the gym. Girl, I've been to the gym, and it feels so good. Because I think honestly the biggest thing I've done for myself is make a commitment to myself and keep it. Make a promise to myself and keep it. And that has been so huge, not only for like my self-confidence, but like just my relationship with me. You know, I trust me. I trust me. I know I got me. And that's been very huge.
For sure. Like I feel like that's so big, like with regulating like your nervous system and building that self-love, like keeping those commitments. I stress that so much. Like, you know, I this year I did like the Broad Street run, and like I never even been a runner.
I love that.
And like I was like, you know, I'm gonna do this, and just me showing up, like just keep trying, and I'm like, wow, like you're really showing up for yourself. And then when I did it, I was like, wow, like
I bet you felt so good.
I felt so good, and just like, you know, that helped me prioritize like my physical health, and you know, it just helped me. I'm like, wow, like Jazz, you can really do,
you really can
anything. And it's like when I followed through with what I said I was gonna do, it's like, damn, like I could do even more shit. You know what I
Even
mean?
more
It's
shit.
like, wow,
It's so powerful.
Yeah, it's like, wow.
It's so powerful when you show up for yourself and you impress yourself.
Yeah.
Stop
Yeah.
playing.
Like,
Like,
yeah, you
stop.
are that girl.
Why were you playing with you this whole
Why
time?
are you playing small, right? Yeah.
So I'm honestly also proud of you.
Oh,
Let me
you.
just throw that out there too,
Thank
because
you.
I know that when we did initially sit down and
Mhm.
kind of get to know one another, it was like maybe at least a year ago.
Yeah.
And I think that the both of us have it come quite a way.
Yeah, I
in
feel
that
like so,
time.
yes. For
So
sure.
congratulations to you too.
Thank you. Thank you. And congratulations to you. The shop looks great.
Thank
you. You're doing your thing.
Thank
so
you.
Shout out to you. So how do you define self-love, and what does it look like to you, like in your daily life?
So in my daily life, I think that the best thing that I have done for myself recently, like I said, one is keeping my promises to me,
Yeah.
showing up for myself, but also having grace with myself.
Yeah.
I have had to remember that, like you mentioned, I am a spiritual being having a human experience.
Right, yeah.
And all of my emotions are mine. They're
Exactly.
extremely valid.
Mhm.
And everything that I have been through is everything that I have been through.
Yeah.
So to put a little bit less pressure on myself and apply a little bit more love
Yeah.
has been the best form of self-care that
Yeah.
I've been able to do for me. You know, I appreciate me a little bit
Yeah.
more, and I like emotionally like hug myself
Yeah.
a little bit more now, you know, because it hasn't been easy.
Yeah.
But I think, like I said, just kind of having that grace and allowing yourself even to have days that, on those days that you feel like you need an extra hour in the bed,
Yeah.
or you need to go on Do Not Disturb,
Right. Mm-hmm.
do that.
Yes.
and some, for me, there was a lot of guilt surrounding self-care.
Yeah.
And I had to acknowledge that and say, well, why?
Right.
Why do I feel so guilty
Right.
doing for me, but it's so easy for me to pick up and go when someone else calls?
Right,
There's an
exactly.
issue there.
Yeah.
There's a disconnect.
There
So I think patience with myself, grace
Yeah.
with my emotions is all I can do.
Yeah, that's so important. Like, grace with your emotions. You know, I feel like sometimes we hold ourselves up to like this super high standard. Like, once you know
Absolutely.
better, you have to do better. But it's like we are still human and we still have these emotions. We're gonna get mad. We're gonna get sad. There's days we don't want to do shit, or you know, we just can't show up like we do, and we just can't do it. And it's like, sometimes I feel like when you know better, you start to feel guilty. But
Absolutely.
once you're like, all right, damn, like, you know, you should be doing this, and that. But having that grace for ourselves, having that love for ourselves, and just understand that sometimes we're gonna have bad days, and that's okay. You know what I mean? That kind of helps us to keep going, because sometimes it's like when you see yourself in like those old patterns or those old ways, you're like, damn, you're like even harder on yourself, and then you're like, you just want to stop. You know what I mean? You don't want to keep going. But when you understand, like, all right, I'm gonna have bad days, that just allows you to pick up the next day or whenever you're ready and to keep going. So I feel like grace and that self-love is so important.
I've definitely made plenty of mistakes along the way. And, you know, accepting my own apology to myself has been a big deal.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right. So, what are some things you do to like push yourself to like get to the next level?
Waking up early has been major.
Yeah.
Major game changer for me. I mean, I'm not there yet where it's an every morning thing.
Right.
But on the days that I'm able to wake up substantially earlier, I am like a superhuman.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me nothing.
Right.
I'm getting everything on the to-do list accomplished.
Right.
What? And so waking up early has been a real big step for me in leveling up. What else? I think right now is definitely the gym.
Yeah.
The gym. The gym has given me a lot of confidence in not just, like I said, meeting my promises to myself, but now I'm literally physically falling back in love with myself again. You know, like looking in the mirror. Like, are you? Do you see what's happening here?
Yeah.
And I used to either not feel that way about myself or feel guilty for those emotions towards myself. You know, because I'm a very humble person. I never want to come across like conceited or better than anyone else. So
But
I
you're
think
a good girl, so you should, you
Thank
know,
you.
feel that love.
I'm trying to be fine on the inside and the outside.
Period.
That's what I'm trying to do right now. So I think definitely getting up early, going to the gym, and really crossing those things off the to-do list for me has given me a great sense of self-empowerment.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, getting up early, I've
it's good.
Yeah, but
it's that good
thing,
stuff.
Like, I can get so much stuff done, and it's like, you know, once you get that stuff out the way, it's like you feel like almost like a sign of relief. You're just like, wow, like,
are you kidding me?
I got all that. Yeah, I can do whatever.
11 a.m. Where are we going?
Right,
Are we going shopping?
So you know, you do a lot of different things: acting, modeling. You're a tattoo artist, painter. What has like made you start like new ventures? Do you feel like, you know, you just kind of just go with the flow, or?
So I will say I am a Sagittarius.
Okay.
I think that has a little bit of something to do with it.
Okay.
I'm one of those. I'm like a major fire sign. I just love to experience.
Yeah.
And I also will attribute a lot of that to my parents.
Okay.
I grew up watching my parents just try things until they worked.
Yeah.
They rarely ever were employees for other people. They
Nice.
constantly were starting new businesses on their own, and if that didn't work, they were on to the thing that did.
Yeah.
And so that was always instilled in me, just that
Yeah.
hustler mentality, just that constant keep trying,
Right,
you know, kind of mindset. And I think that that's definitely been a huge part of why I'm just wired like
Right,
that. I'm
yeah.
that type of person. So, but yeah, I'm just exploring life. You know, like I said, I feel like I've lived a few different lives in this little 35 years. And, you know, I'm just going with the flow.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what life is all about. You know what I mean? Like, we're not really meant to be stuck to do one thing, like work a 9 to 5 and do all that. You know what I mean? It's like life is meant to be experienced. And when you get to experience different things, you get to figure out what it is that you like and what it is that you don't like, and then move forward from there. So.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, because I feel like that conversation had a bit to do with one of the major portions of my mental health struggle was kind of like purpose.
Yeah.
I began to feel like I was on this earth to work and pay
Right.
bills, and that I had no other form of importance or value to
Right.
the rest of the world, and
Yeah.
it was not a good feeling.
Yeah.
It made me feel so devalued and unimportant, and I began to feel like my literal job here is to just pay bills, and it was such a depressing portion of my life. And I really have had to shift my mindset a lot and do a lot of like listening to, you know, Abraham Hicks and different people that I've discovered along the way to kind of rewire and recognize how much power is within my hands and my mind. So
for sure.
definitely it's a reprogramming.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely have to unlearn like the things we learn, because they instill it in us from school.
unlearning is not
like,
fun or
yeah,
easy.
it's not. It's really not. You're like, oh, well, I thought I had to work and all this stuff, but it's like, no, really finding your purpose and figuring out, you know, what are you meant here to do? And it's not work all day. You know what I mean? It's to, you know, do whatever we find, you know, in our souls, and whatever we figure out. Like me, for instance, like I feel like the things that I've been through in life were for a reason. You know what I mean? And
100%.
it's like, that's why I'm doing this podcast, to, you know, just talk to people and just help people feel fine on the inside, because there's so many people who don't, you know what I mean? They look the part, but they don't feel okay, you know what I mean? And it's okay not to feel okay, but, you know, just showing people, just planting the seed, like, it's okay, it's going to be okay, you know what I mean? So
I appreciate that, because it's definitely a lot more impactful when you see reflections in other people. Like when you resonate with someone and they're open and transparent about, you know, their mental health experiences or their past experiences, you know, it empowers you enough to stand in your own and to either speak on your own or work on them. So it's definitely, it's a beautiful thing you're doing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. So, we were saying how, you know, you do like a lot of different things. So how did you handle like jumping into like different ventures? Like, you know, you said you just always, it was instilled in you, but like, was it ever hard at all? Like, you know, you were a young actor, you were on That's So Raven, the Paw Family.
Absolutely. Like I said, I have fallen along the way plenty of times. I've tried, failed, tried, got it right, tried, failed again.
Right.
So I handle a lot of that the same way I think many humans do.
Yeah.
I cry.
Yeah.
I drink wine.
Right.
You know, I get angry also.
Yeah.
I have plenty of fears, and I call my mom. You know, I'm very, very much figuring things out as I do them.
Right.
And so I've had a lot of the similar experiences I think other people have, but similar to you, the more I go through, the more resilient I become, the stronger and more prepared I am.
Right.
So, and almost every time that a new challenge awaits me, I can take my mind back to the experience I had that prepared me for it.
Right, yeah.
And in that moment, I'm able to be grateful.
Exactly,
you know, I'm like,
Right.
I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this
Yeah.
one. I've been training for this day.
Right.
So I'm definitely, you know, just going through my road trip like everyone else.
Right.
But resilience and, again, having grace with yourself. Just knowing that we're all just figuring it out.
Yeah, we are. And I feel like, you know, a lot of times we are scared to see like what else is out there. I feel like so many people are scared of like the unknown.
100%.
But it's like you have to just take the jump, and then when you get to the other side, you realize like it wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? Or like, wow, like I was able to get through this, and now, like you said, now I'm prepared for the next thing. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes we just gotta take that jump.
Oftentimes we're our biggest challenge.
We are.
We're our biggest doubter.
We are.
We're our biggest haters sometimes.
Yes, we really are. So how do you feel about, you know, people starting over and taking risks to do like what they love?
Do it.
Do it.
Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Fail, fall, get up, do it again.
For sure.
Do it. Do it. Their world is awaiting you.
Yeah.
And like, I think you said something like that before, like everything that you're waiting for is waiting for you also.
Facts, yeah.
And that like really sat with me because it's like I have always had this inner knowing that I'm meant to do big things, that I'm meant to go see places, that I'm meant for this very expansive, purposeful experience, you know. But if I don't take that leap and trust that instinct, then I will never have those experiences. So I say do it. And it may be scary. And what I can also say, moving from a smaller town to somewhere kind of popular or more populated, somewhere like Los Angeles specifically, with a lot of pressure, with a lot of fame, clout, experiences. There's, for me personally, I put a lot of pressure on how I thought people were going to perceive me if I moved back home. But at the time that I was considering moving back, I was really struggling. And again, I was putting what I thought the opinions of others were before my actual well-being. And I had to sit with myself and say, well, who matters? Me.
Exactly.
So I humbled myself enough to like remind myself, hey, you did it. You came. You saw. You may not have conquered, but it's okay to go home and restabilize.
You know what I mean? In your own way. You know what I mean? Like you were there to experience what you experienced. Now you want to come home. You know what I mean? Like you did it.
I'm on to the next part of the journey.
There's no, end all be all. Like, oh, I had to do this. No, you experienced what you need to experience. It's like now you can do more. You know what I mean?
It's time for the next section.
Yes, and I feel like a lot of times we do think that like, oh damn, if I like come back to town or I move back in with my parents, sometimes we gotta take some steps back to take some steps forward, and we
100%.
all have to just realize, people that we might think are judging us, they're trying to figure it out too.
And all the time.
We're all trying to figure it out. So it's like just understanding that it just takes the pressure off, because I feel like that's why a lot of people try to like, save face and keep up with everything and try to keep up with all the designer and cars and everything. And it's just like, now you're stressed out because it's like you're just working to keep up this
and
image,
there goes that purpose.
And now your soul, your purpose,
right out the window.
Exactly. So for sure we
go to all that.
Exactly. All right. So can you discuss a significant turning point in your life that led you to like greater self-awareness and growth?
Well, like I said earlier, I definitely feel like I hit an emotional rock bottom where I no longer felt like I had answers and needed to seek answers out. But I will say a significant time or experience was more specifically when my grandma passed away. At that time, I had my head completely in the clouds, like when it came to family time, connecting. I was completely focused on the career I was involved in at the time, making money, and I was making more money than I had made before. So I was great at it. So I was just completely focused on that. I didn't care about a birthday or nothing. Until one Sunday I got this phone call that was like, if you want to see her, come home now. And I dropped everything and I didn't go to work for the next few days, and I flew home and I spent my grandma's last days with her, and I just realized, like, what have I been doing? This is all that matters. This family, this bond, these moments, really important, and I'm sitting here letting all this time pass me by, and I'm missing out on these important connections with my family. And I realized I hadn't sent my mom a gift in years, and I wasn't in tune the way that I should have been in that moment. And although I was so grateful that I made it home, that I spent that time, that was probably like the best decision I ever made in my life. It snapped me out of like a somewhat arrogant state of mind that I was in. I was being a little ignorant to what was important at the time.
And I feel like sometimes it's really unfortunate, but sometimes it takes those really hard like blows, those losses, and things like that to really wake us up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is what's really important. Like, you gotta get it together. Money gonna come and go,
comes and goes.
Our family, that's what's really important, and we just gotta just cherish that and be more present. I feel like a lot of us are so like not present. I have to check myself sometimes. You know what I mean? Trying to build something for myself and for my kids, but then also realizing like they're growing up and I have to be present. That's
it's difficult. It's difficult. I know that definitely is a lot on your plate, because you don't want to miss the little things, but you as a mom, you're also looking at the big picture. You're thinking future, college, houses, all that kind of stuff.
Like, I'm just trying to do it for us, but it's like I just don't. I'm realizing like I don't want to miss out on those little moments. You know what I mean? And it's like I'm going to be able to do what I need to do, but, just trying to find that balance and just remembering, like, it's family, the love, that's really important.
That's what's important.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so what are some books, podcasts, or some resources that have been, like, particularly impactful to your self-development journey?
Ooh, okay. Books, I would absolutely have to say The 4 Agreements. Followed by The Mastery of Love, same author.
I did not read The Mastery of Love, but my best friend, she's like read all the books. She's told me something about it. But The 4 Agreements, I feel like everybody should read that.
Everybody should read that. And keep it so that you can reread it, which I honestly need to do. I need to revisit it right about now as a little refresher. But The 4 Agreements, The Mastery of Love, both by Don Miguel Ruiz. And then for me, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho was absolutely powerful. That's one of those books though that I'll tell you, I feel like it finds you. You don't really go seeking it. Like I mean, that may be a book thing, but for me, I wholeheartedly believe The Alchemist finds you on your journey. This may be it finding you right now. You might need to read it because it's finding you. But in the same way, I had the book gifted to me, and it was like the synchronicity behind what the book meant and how it resonated for me at the time that it was gifted to me was nothing but God. So I completely believe that this book finds you. So The Alchemist will come to you when it's meant to.
I was actually looking for a new book. I've heard of The Alchemist, and I've seen like people read it, but for some reason that's just one of the books I haven't read.
So it wasn't time yet. It wasn't time yet, but I wholeheartedly think that maybe I'll do it for you or something like that. As far as like resources, I would definitely say if you're local, Montgomery County Crisis Hotline is great support system. I actually keep their information all around the shop, just as a friendly reminder to people, because they have both a hotline that you can call, and then you can also access them via text, which I think is really important. So definitely the mobile crisis hotline. And then I would also like to say Laurel House. I highly recommend you reach out for any sort of counsel or support that you might need.
And I'm glad you said that, because some people don't know about those resources.
Yeah,
so
I highly encourage that. Absolutely. And both of those are, you have access to like funding, and if you don't have insurance, they will assist you and get you the help that you need.
Nice. Okay, nice. Well, thank you for letting us know about that. So how do you handle like setbacks or negative thoughts, or what are some strategies that you use to stay positive?
So, I will have to be fully transparent and admit that I've chosen unhealthy habits before, where I self-soothed with drinking or, hibernating. But I have tried to transition into healthier habits, which are, like I said, right now, more so like exercise, being in nature. And I will admit, I still cry. I cry. I'll get a good cry on out. And I allow myself to kind of go through the motions, and then I just move forward.
Yeah, and that's important. Like we said earlier, like we're human, we gotta know that we're gonna have these emotions, and by like holding it in, that doesn't do anything for us. So it's like
it never goes well for me. It never goes well for me.
So is there anything right now that like you still struggle with?
I'm definitely still working on building my confidence and my self-love. I've experienced some things that were just pretty detrimental to how I valued myself and my self-worth. So right now, I'm treating it as a job to fall back in love with myself, and to just really, really see me for who I am. That's been the biggest thing.
Nice. Okay. And I feel like, that's like self-love. I don't know. I feel like it gets cliche, but I stress self-love so much because I feel like when you have self-love, that gives you like the standard of your life.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? It's like when you don't have love, you're looking for it everywhere, and you'll accept whatever you can get. You know what I mean?
Oh, that was my experience.
Yeah, same. And it's like, once we are able to build that, it takes some time, but once you can build that, it's like, wow, you give yourself a whole new like quality of life.
And like you said, you set the standard for how people have to love you.
Right.
Because this is your normal.
Exactly.
You're gonna show up for me less than I show up for myself. You're gonna love on me less than what I love on myself. Why would I do that?
Exactly.
When I got all this love for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Chilling at the crib.
Exactly. I got the self-love. So you gotta come up. So, what are some routines or things that you do or follow to nurture your mental health and your personal growth?
I'm in therapy.
Okay.
I'm in therapy.
Yeah.
I'm in counseling, and I've just recently taken on a different form of like kind of just overall therapy as I transition out of one into like just a general maintenance.
Okay, nice.
And that is huge for me. And it's not easy for everyone to say or, to even acknowledge. Asking for help can be difficult.
Yeah.
But I need it.
Right.
So I'm in therapy, and that's something that's really been important for me.
Yeah.
Also, like as I do fall more in love with myself again, and I am happy, I'm like getting ready more, and I'm like showing up more, and I'm feeling cute, so I'm looking cute, and I'm doing good for myself. Yeah, so I'm doing little favors for myself, self-care routines, hair, shopping, and I feel great.
Yeah, I love that for you, and you look good. You're glowing. You can tell,
My skin does not look as good as yours. I don't know if the camera is picking that up, but you're killing it.
Thank you so much. So can you share like a story of how self-love has positively impacted you and like your relationships with others?
Absolutely. Like I said, I think it sets the tone.
Yeah.
For me, it's the way that I love myself. It completely attracts what comes and goes.
Yeah,
even in relation to like business, friendships, as I change my vibration, the people around me either come or go. As I raise my vibration, if you stand down there, I blink and you've eliminated yourself.
Exactly.
So sometimes things feel like they're falling apart or happening very chaotic,
Yeah.
but they're always aligning.
Yep.
So like I noticed that the higher I raise my vibration for me, the more incredible things I'm attracting.
Yeah.
And I think also, like you said, when you normalize love as a part of your everyday practice, then you see it all around you.
Right,
You don't have to look
exactly,
for
yeah.
it. You see it all around you. It's a part of what you choose to view.
Right, exactly.
You know, so that's definitely like, it's a game changer.
Yeah, it is. How have you evolved throughout your journey, like over the years?
Well, you know, I think I'm a lot more patient with myself, like I said, but I am really fighting to keep the light inside of me. I think that choosing not to let my experiences change me has been really important on my self-care journey. And I don't know, I just feel like I'm still on it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's a constant.
Yeah.
It
I feel
is-
it's like a forever journey.
It's kind of a forever
Yeah.
journey. So I'm just choosing to go with the flow and enjoy the road trip and not rush to the destination
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
and
enjoy
worry
the
so
journey.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
See the love in all the little things.
Yeah, for sure. So what is some advice that you would give to somebody who is struggling with mental health or someone who is not fine on the inside?
Well, I would remind them that they are. They
Yeah.
are beautiful on the
Yeah.
inside. Whether they can see it in that moment or not, I would remind them first and foremost of their inner beauty.
Right, yeah.
And second, I would say it's gonna be okay. Take a deep breath.
Yeah.
It's gonna be okay. Breathe with me right now.
Right.
Whew.
For
You're gonna
sure,
be
yeah.
okay. And then 3, I would say, do not be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
Do not be afraid. We all need it.
Yeah.
You know, I will even say that when I went to one of the buildings that I just recently started going to for therapy, I was coming out of the office and I saw one of the youth from the community that knows me from the shop, knows my family, and as soon as I walked out, all I heard was, "No way, you?"
Aw, yeah.
And it was, you know, it was, I think, kind of affirming for the both of us because,
Yeah.
like, he saw someone that's older than him that he
Yeah.
respects in the community, and I was there to get help.
Right, yeah.
You know, and it was hopeful for me because I'm like, oh, okay, little guy, you're
Yeah.
starting early.
Yeah.
But it made me also feel a lot more human, you know?
Yeah.
And so don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be ashamed.
Yeah.
Don't worry about any stigma about who you are. You know, some of the richest, coolest,
Yeah.
most famous people, we all need
We
help.
all need help for sure.
So that would be the things that I would probably say.
Nice.
And you are loved.
Yes, so loved.
Don't give up.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's super important. And, you know, him seeing you there, you know, probably just, like, showed him, like, yeah, like, you're doing the right thing. And
Yeah.
probably gave him some motivation to keep going. And so many people are fighting battles that we don't know about, you know what
Tough.
I mean? Like,
It's tough.
silent battles. So it's just, like, just seeing somebody going through the same thing or, you know, trying to get help is just really, like, encouraging.
It is.
It's like,
It's
wow.
very empowering.
Yeah.
It is. And it's definitely been one of the big things that has supported me in the choice to seek the help.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, the lobby's full. We're all losing it.
Right.
So, cool. We're good. All right. We're good.
Right, we're good here. Well, thank you, Erica, so much.
Thank
for
you.
coming on. I'm so happy that
Me
I got
too.
to talk to you, honestly. Like,
And are we going to do a little tattoo on you?
Yes, we're going to do a tattoo, y'all. So
Stay
stay
tuned.
tuned for that. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to tag all Erica's handles down below.
Cool.
Make sure you guys grab your Find on the Inside journals and your t-shirts. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. See you guys. Bye.